Remember the intimidating kid on the playground who wanted to play with a ball, so he just took it from another child? Or the time a group of girls surrounded someone who was a little different and began taunting? Now, I don't know your history. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe you were an advocate or a friend to someone who was, or maybe you were the bully. We hear quite a bit in the media these days about children who are victims, but what many don't realize is that bullying isn't something that only happens in childhood and that everyone grows out of. Hi, my name is Amy Hachquet, and this week's tip is how to recognize and handle the emotional bully in your relationship. Often people who are bullied in childhood tend to continue to be victimized in this way in adulthood, or they take on the role of the emotional bully themselves. One area where we see this dynamic played out is in the couple relationship, which is one of the big reasons why couples end up in therapy. So what is an emotional bully? And what are the signs in recognizing that this dynamic is a part of your relationship? Basically, we are talking about a form of relationship manipulation, where one partner tries to get what they want, often through fear and intimidation tactics. It's not unlike what you see on the playground as a kid, although it takes on a more grown-up version, and the behaviors might be a little subtle, but no less emotionally distressing. One of the first signs is the presence of a controlling or shaming combination of behaviors. Are you required to get permission before doing everyday types of activities? Are you essentially punished or made to feel inferior for shortcomings or honest mistakes? Is your partner humiliating you in front of your kids, your family, or your friends? Control and shame are big themes in these relationships. Secondly, withholding attention or affection, which often comes in the form of the infamous silent treatment. Are you punished or abandoned every time there is conflict? Is your partner emotionally unavailable? Thirdly, emotional bullies often throw temper tantrums, which, if you've ever seen one happen in a 2-year-old, it pretty much plays out in the same way. In the moment, it's completely impossible to reason, negotiate, or compromise. Lastly, since you've been together, has your self-identity or self-esteem significantly decreased? Do you feel depressed, or like you actually don't even know who you are anymore? Emotional bullying is often carried out with the intent to diminish the other partner's sense of identity and self-worth. It goes without saying that bullies are not happy people, and the saying still rings true in that misery loves company. So what can be done about it? Ask people that are close to you and whom you trust to share their observations of your partner's behavior, which can help validate your feelings and help solidify that you aren't just imagining what's going on. Take responsibility for setting new boundaries and enforcing them as long as you feel safe enough to do so. Relationships are always up for renegotiation, and it's important to know when to stay and when to leave if those boundaries are not being respected. Lastly, a bully is always looking for a reaction, so your best defense is to deny them one. Reacting will only reinforce bad behavior. Maintain calm composure and go about your business. But keep in mind, these tips are best suited for adults where there is still room to voice your opinion and make choices. If physical safety is an issue in any way, don't compromise your sense of well-being by attempting to reason or negotiate with an angry individual. The National Domestic Violence Hotline can provide solid direction in these types of situations. Most partners find themselves engaging in bullying types of behaviors every now and then, and to a certain degree, this is normal. We all want to get our needs met, and sometimes we resort to some pretty manipulative measures to do so, rather than approaching one another honestly and authentically. But when bullying becomes a way of life and it's not serving you or your partner, couples can utilize counseling as a survival strategy. While this is an unfortunate and yet common dynamic between couples, emotional bullying is something marriage and family therapists see quite frequently, and there is hope. Again, my name is Amy Hachquet, and until next time.